And that's what drives our liberal friends, so to speak, nuts. So there's this cable network. Honestly, folks, you can Google it yourself. They have horrific ratings. From the morning with Joe Scarborough all the way to the night with whatever's on there. Just terrible. Basically, they're subsidized by their parent organization, GE, through NBC. But the network doesn't make any money. It doesn't have any ratings. It exists for one reason and one reason only, to attack conservatives. Is there an equivalent of a conservative Juan Williams on MSLSD? Is there an equivalent of a Geraldo Rivera conservative on MS? Well, there is no such thing as, well, put that one aside. But all of these Democrat and liberal operatives and talkers and everything, they're on Fox. I see them all the time. A friend of mine is one of them. Beckel. That's right, he's a friend. Live with it. Doesn't mean I agree with him. I strongly disagree with him. Strongly. But he's my friend. Okay, that aside. Do you see any of that on MSNBC? Nothing. None of it. Now, there's some real loudmouths on MSLSD. You know who they are. But I want to talk briefly about Chris Matthews. As I said, he's a Democrat hack. In the past, he's had, I understand, a problem with the drink, but it's apparently under control, they say. Hard to tell, but that's what they say. I know these liberals hate my guts. I know they do. Usually what they do is they pretend I don't exist. They just don't want to comment on me. They didn't want to discuss liberty and tyranny. 1.2, probably 1.3 million copies sold by now. Just don't say anything. Pretend he doesn't exist. Hold on. 8.5 million listeners. We don't need them. I don't have to be on Meet the Press or Good Morning America or any of the rest of it to reach an audience, to reach my audience. All these other people try. I don't even care. But if you listen to this show, you follow this show, you're a fan of this show, you know we do many things here. We talk about history. We talk at length about the Constitution. We talk about the Supreme Court cases. We talk about economics. We talk philosophy. We talk current events. We joke. We're sarcastic. We're passionate. In other words, we're real. If I call somebody an idiot, it's because I think they're an idiot. Whether I do it on the air or I do it off the air. If I think somebody is a Marxist, I don't use that word loosely. I use it because I read Karl Marx and Engels and the rest of it, and I know what they believe and I know what they said. I don't use these terms loosely, but they don't like it. Mark, just go quietly or be ineffective or talk in a monotone or do whatever it is. And I not only get attacked by the radical flat earth know-nothings on the left, I get attacked by the pretentious know-nothing wannabes on the pseudo side of the right, mostly off the pages of the New York Slimes. I don't care. But we were attacked yesterday by Mr. Ed Schultz, or Mr. Ed as we call him. I'll get to him in a moment. And apparently I was attacked about 30 minutes ago or so, or an hour ago, by Chris Matthews, along with Michael Savage. Now, look, I've had my problems with Michael Savage. But let me be as clear as I can. Michael Savage hasn't created any violence either. So in this, I will defend him, as well as defend myself. Here we are, defending ourselves against what? some a-hole on MSLSD with no numbers, no ratings, no audience, no substance, no common sense, making an allegation. We know without question that the murderer in Tucson was mentally ill, a liberal pothead, and all the rest of it. We know this for a fact. Even if he had a copy of one of my books and was a listener to this program, what the hell does that have to do with some nut trying to kill a congressman and killing a federal judge and spraying the whole audience? I don't know. Did he have a TV in his house? Cable? Really? Has anybody in his house ever watched MSNBC? Oh, really? Tell me, did they ever watch Chris Matthews? Because maybe Chris Matthews' tone and rhetoric is very upsetting to people. Anyway, here he is, Chris Matthews. Go.
Stephen, I have to tell you that I'll mention a couple names without getting into too many fights. People like Mark Levin or Michael Savage, for example, who every time you listen to them are furious at the left with anger that's just builds and builds in their voice, and by the time they go to commercial, they're just in some rage every night with ugly talk, ugly sounding talk, and it never changes, it never modulates. They must have an audience. I looked at the numbers today. They have big audiences, and I guess that's the question. Why, and is there ever going to stop if it keeps working?
What's the question? What's the question? You know, if I did this show every day and I didn't have anything substantive to say, I wouldn't have a big audience. You want to look at a yeller, look at this Keith Olbermann. Look at this, what's the one on The View? Behar? What's her name? Joy Behar. They yell all the time. Nobody watches, nobody cares. Yes, I have passion. There's no question about it. I always have and I always will, whether I'm on the air or off the air. Passion. Passion for the Constitution that they belittle. Passion for representative government that they belittle. Passion about about future generations and how we're destroying the currency and destroying the not the currency, destroying the budget. That's what I mean. On and on. Passion.